Hello, welcome to Brockwell Lane. This is going to be an update on the N-gauge layout which I started recently based on Georgemas Junction. Last time the boards, I've got the tracks down but the boards are pretty much bare, and you can see I've now added platforms and I've started on the building. I've also weathered the tracks and the underlay, which makes a big difference. I've started putting a bit of flock powder down just to see how it looks. Only using this as like a base coat because I intend to put static grass on top probably later on. It's just a quick fix to make it look a little bit more presentable. Get an idea for how it's going. So starting with, let's have a look at the scenery first. I've raised this land up. It's probably not completely accurate for Georgemas Junction, but it's very difficult to get it right. It'll do for this layout. This is from Hobbycraft. This was the plaster cloth, which basically is like what you'd have on your broken leg. Comes in a roll, and you cut the sheets. You just put it in water and then you put it on top of whatever you've formed underneath. In my case I just screwed up balls of newspaper, dotted them all around, and then put this on top, and then sort of compressed it and shaped it to where I wanted, and then when it dried it goes quite hard, as you can tell. So there's raised up sections there, and then the line towards Thurso goes between in a little valley. It dries white, of course, and just on top of that I went to Wilko's and bought a tester pot of a brownie emulsion, which I just painted on top so as the white didn't shine through. That was called Nutmeg Spice, I believe, and about £1, and it did most of that. The platform surface here is all artist card mounting board, which I painted with some rail match grey. I think it was probably Great Western wagon grey, because I got a lot of that for doing my 00 Great Western wagons. Painted the whole thing, cut it out in one sheet pretty much. And then to make the platform edges, this is what I use on my 00 as well. This is the Pico plastic sides, platform sides, and these just come in sections about that long, I suppose, and they clip together. And they also do the ramp as well. Come on, focus. There we go. The ramp at the end there as well. So you just end up with a long edge, and then you just put a bit of artist card on top, or in this case 2 edges either side, and then put the card in between, carefully measuring, and I think that works really well. So I use that on Brockwell Lane 00 layout as well. So the tracks have also been weathered. Now I covered the point blades and sprayed them with a rattle can from Rail Match, which is the track dirt. It does come out very brown, and that's not necessarily always accurate, but it's good enough for me. It does hide the height of the rails, makes it look a little bit more scale. I like the look anyway. Little single road engine shed there, which I bought off of eBay for a few pounds, which is just fitted at the end of that siding. In real life it was a double, I believe, but I haven't got room, so a bit of modeller's license there. And also, as I said again, these tracks should go to 1 there, but again, modeller's license. I shall hide that with a bit of bushes and trees and things. The 156 I've also finished weathering, which again was the same track dirt spray from rail match I used on the underframes of this locomotive, masked off the body sides, and then sort of put it on a bit of card and then aimed the spray sort of in front of the model, allowing it to just drift and spatter a bit on the bogies so it wasn't a full covering, if you know what I mean. Overspray. I found that works in Engage better than, well, I've used it more in Engage than I have in double. I don't know quite why. It just seems easier because of the fine bogie frame details and things. You don't want a lot of paint on there. I've also started with some Metcalf card, scratch building the large station building hostel type thing that's at Georgemas Junction. I've only just done that this morning. It's only very rough at the moment, but it gives me an idea for scale and so on. Metcalf stone sheets again have been used around the road bridge, which is taking shape. Bit of concrete trunkings appeared, although not in accurate positions as it is on the real place, but again, a bit of license used. Now this second platform is only half used at Georgemas, or it has been for a long time, and one side's been allowed to become overgrown, so I just masked that off and PVA and put some woodland scenes flock on there just as a starter. I might go over the top later with a bit of static grass and things. A couple of new wagons there. I think they're OBAs, Farish, weathered in a similar method. I actually got those from the Keithingworth Valley Railway at Haworth. The shop on the station platform is very good. Lots of second-hand bits, and I think they were second-hand, about £8 each. So I was really pleased with that when I went a couple of weeks ago. I also painted the sky, or the back scene, in a sort of sky blue colour, which again was from Wilkinson's tester pot, about £1. Now it did actually bend that what I'd used for the back scene, which was like a foam board with paper on, but luckily it bent back again, so that was quite lucky. So top down perspective, you can see it's coming on quite nicely. I'm not going to run anything at the moment because I've still got a lot of grass to put down, and I don't want that getting into the fine mechanisms on these Engage locomotives. And talking about locomotives, here's a new one I bought off eBay recently, which is Class 26. Now I've done quite a bit of weathering and detailing to this. On the front end you can see I've added some scaled discs, which were from brass, and also some brass snowplows. It had a missing buffer, so I've put a new one on there, a brass one, and I've painted it metal primer colour because that they did actually replace buffers quite a lot on the Class 26s, and they didn't always paint them, so that's deliberately to replicate that. Again, the underframe's done with the same method I just described, with the rattle can, which is the rail match, framed it. Oh, it's sleeper grime actually, same thing. Just sort of spraying just in front on a piece of card, and then letting the overspray take care of the weathering underneath. There's also, and whilst I was doing that, I redid the other locomotives as well, so there's 114 there as well, and 47637 and 420, which is still waiting for the nameplates to come. They did actually come from Shoreplan, but they were too long. When you put them on, they stuck right over onto the grill, so I've emailed him about that and he's going to sort me out some new ones. So I look forward to receiving those. So yeah, and I also did a bit of overspray on the roofs as well with using this brown, which seemed to work okay. Very fine mist, just to give it a slightly dusty, dirty appearance on the roofs. seem to work quite well. Yeah, the Metcalfe sheets I've used for the station building and the bridge sides and things, and I might put it along the front on the platforms. I'm not decided yet. Is this N scale stone style builders sheets? I think you can get these in 00 as well. You get quite a lot of A4 sheets in there to use. So thank you once again for all your encouragement and comments and subscriptions. So I'm going to leave you now. I won't be doing any running because I said about the it needs vacuuming and things. But hopefully you can see there's been some progress. So I'll see you next time, where I've hopefully done a bit more. Thank you very much. Bye bye.